This will definitely impact every participant in your community, and it will be a special gift to them for any business owner, or even if you're thinking of starting a business, this will definitely help you. Now, I want to do a quick roll call so I understand the caliber of people here. It will help me know how to structure my thoughts so that they can be practical to everybody. So if you are here and you are still thinking of starting a business, type wanna be entrepreneur. If you are here and you run a business and you are the only employee, you are the founder, you're the only employee, write founder in the chat box. If you run a business and you have employees under you, write CEO under, write CEO in the chat box. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, write wanna be entrepreneur. If you run a business and you are alone, it's still a one-man business, write founder in the chat box. If you run a business and you have employees working with you, write CEO in the chat box. That means everybody should fall under one of these, right? Except you're just here for sightseeing and you're not interested in business at all. You're just here to see what is happening. All right. But this topic is for entrepreneurs. So if you're here, it means that you have something to do with entrepreneurship. All right. All right. Have people working with me, but not paying them yet. All right. That's good. That's good. All right. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Excellent, excellent. If you are just joining in, you're welcome. I want to do a quick mini research to understand who is here. So if you're joining in right now, I am doing a quick sample to understand the people in the community. If you are still in the idea stage, still planning to start, go ahead in the chat box and write wanna be entrepreneur. If you already run a business, and you are the only employee, go ahead and write founder. If you run a business and you have employees under you or people working for you and with you in the business, go ahead and write CEO in the chat box. All right. So from uh, the present number, the largest percentage, we have people who are founders. Then it means that today's session is definitely for you because anybody who is under the founder stage or under the founders category, you are in a serious startup stage. And there are some things that I believe when I will share them with you practically, you will be able to understand how to move that idea to enterprise that can begin to make some amount of money. And I'm going to be teaching you not from theory. I'll be sharing with you as somebody who has been in business, right? And I have also failed in business. I think if I want to put together business failures I have had and the money I have lost in trying to start companies and failing, I think I've lost altogether more than 120 million businesses. Right. That's a fact. Right. I once tried an insurance company, it failed. Right. I once tried paperback making company when Cameroon government banned the plastic papers. I tried to get into a company that can produce paperbacks for businesses. It failed, right? So I could give you on and on and on. At the same time, I have I have done a lot of work in business training and consulting and speaking. So I am on the both sides of the coin, right? In terms of, like I always say, my first love is teaching. My first love is training. One of the main reasons I really get into business is so that I can have some practical experience with what I'm talking about. All right. But a big part of my life is into training and speaking and consulting and coaching and facilitating sessions like this across different countries, 20 countries and counting. And for those who are wondering, I'm a typical Cameroonian living in Cameroon, just that I get to move around a lot. All right. So, but Cameroon is home for me. Excellent. All right, let us get into this. So today's focus, we're looking at how to scale from startup to enterprise. And there are things I will share with you that if you practice, they will help you to do that. So I want to show you the 9 steps that can enable you to go from startup to enterprise, right? And there is another video, another teaching I have done on how to make your first 1 million in business. I have helped many people make their first 1 million in business in as low as 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Some take longer, but when I meet people that have never made their first 1 million, there are some I'm working with them to make their first 10 million in business in a year, right? And some of the things I'll be sharing are the things that I also share at that particular level with these, my people that I get to work with them. But what are the 9 steps that you can follow if you are at that startup level that can bring you to that enterprise level where you have good products, you have customers paying for your products, and of course, you are profitable in what you're doing. And with your own eyes, with your own imagination, you can see that, hey, this business has a future in this industry or in this country, wherever you are. Now, I want to ask another question. Comment the industry where your business functions. If you have any, some people is healthcare, some people is fashion, some people is technology, some people is education, some people is the food industry. So go ahead in the chat box, comment your industry, or just write the name of your business. Let me understand the various industries that are represented. It will help me to understand how to drive this conversation in a practical way so that everybody can be able to move with this. All right. I'm happy to see a good number of fashion designers. Fashion design is the future, especially for African fashion designers, and if they know what to do, right? And all right, beautiful, beautiful. So, right. So I want to talk with us briefly. This is a training that if I want to do the normal way I train, this training will take me about 4 hours to train, but we don't have 4 hours. We have less than 30 minutes, basically, right? So I'm going to be very fast and kind of give you a core blueprint. And a good business owner should be able to hear something and go do further research. All right. So the things I'm going to teach you, many of you may need to take some of these things and go do further research. Use the internet. Maybe buy a book and go deeper in that area because you can begin to see that, hey, this thing that Joybert spoke about, this thing is very important in the business I am building. So if I want to see my business to advance forward, I need to make sure that this is part of my business. And listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully. Every serious business owner, listen to me carefully. You will never build a profitable business out of guesswork and assumptions. Let me say it again. You will never build a business that can make millions, impact millions of people from guesswork and assumption. Business is both an art and a science. You have to pay the price to understand the science of building a business. Many people are trying to guesswork their way into business success. It doesn't work like that. If you are ignorant of certain things in business, you will end up failing in business. Because when a business stays the same and it's not advancing, the only option is failure, right? So if you're one of those people that you run a business, you don't attend good trainings, you don't read good books on business to understand how business works, I can guarantee you that give yourself some time. That's why look at many buy and sellers, look at many informal business owners. Very few of them last more than 10 years, right? Because they just do what they're doing, and they depend only on their experience, what they experience in the markets. That is good, but it has its limitations. So those kinds of people, they run business from reaction. So when they fail or they meet a particular type of customer, based on the feedback they get, they now begin to react. But one thing that separates great business owners is that they understand how to be proactive and how to anticipate. And nothing can train your curiosity and your proactive abilities like having the right body of knowledge in that thing that you're building. All right. So it is very important to have that particular understanding. Step one, if you're going to move from startup to enterprise, the first step that every business should be able to to go through is what you can call market and idea validation. Market and idea validation. Now, what does that mean? You see, every business functions in the market. Cameroon as a whole is a market. And that thing you're trying to make money out of is an idea. But you see, if you want to avoid building something that nobody will buy or continue buying, you have to spend some time and make sure that the market you are targeting actually exists. And number two, that your idea is relevant for that market and for the people in that market. Very important. You see, so you have to go the extra mile to validate your idea with actual market feedback, not your opinion. I have met many people. See, I have coached and consulted for thousands of businesses. I have met many people starting businesses from opinions. Opinions never build a business. If you don't have the right actual feedback about that idea and the market you are targeting to sell to, you will struggle to ever enter that enterprise level where you can build a big business that is profitable. Here's one thing I do when I am providing consulting to somebody who is at a startup stage. One thing I always tell them is that you need to bring me some research or interview feedbacks that you have done with at least 200 people. Just bring me data from your target market so that we have the real actual market feedback. Because it is through your market and idea validation that you are able to identify if there is a painful problem in the lives of those people. And then you also begin to test if the people will pay to solve that problem. See, there are people that have a problem, but they are not willing to pay to solve that problem. They are willing to manage that problem for the rest of their lives, right? And if you are trying to build a business around a market that the people are not willing to pay, or number two, they don't have the money to pay, you will struggle to build a business. We once did a research for a company and we discovered that they were not making sales because they were selling something to a market that the people in that target market, they didn't have extra money to buy what they're selling. Because your product can either be a nice to have product or a must have product. You see, a nice to have or a must have product. Like, for example, you see, restaurants are good businesses, but you see, many restaurants are nice to have because, worst case scenario, somebody can cook in their house. Worst case scenario, most people are married, right? So, restaurants are good businesses. But most people buy not because it's a must have product, but because once in a while they're stranded. They want something quick. So if people are not being stranded or some things are not happening, many people who run restaurants will hardly stay in business for long, right? And you need extra strategy and commitment and marketing to get it right. Meanwhile, there are some other people that let's say those who are in fashion designing. You see, your dresses I must have because people will always want to clothe themselves. Number one, to avoid being naked. And then number two, majority of the human race, they like to look good. So those are in fashion design here, your products are not nice to have, they must have. So if you understand how to get your business model the right way, you can always be in business at all times. So invest some time to do market and idea validation. Make sure that the market is available to buy what you're selling. Number two, make sure that your idea is good for that market and the people are willing to pay for that service or for your business, and they have the capacity to pay for it. All right. Next point, step two, offer creation. I am not going to break into all of this because we have limited time. Many of you came there, so started late. All right. Number two, offer creation. Now, what does this mean? You see, it is one thing to have an idea, but people don't pay for ideas. People pay for offers. People pay for something that they can understand. That is what people pay for. People don't just buy products. No, people buy the results that the product can create. And your offer talks about the results that your product will create. See, when we are building marketing messages for businesses, I do consulting in a lot of companies, right? So when we see what they're using as marketing messages, we always see why they're not selling. If you do your marketing and you're selling but the product, people are not going to buy. People buy the results that your product creates. And in offer creation, you focus on producing or packaging your product in terms of the results that the product can create. So being able to communicate your offer in a way that it is so clear, simple, and guarantees the customer that they will not be wasting their money when they buy their product is very important. This is one major reason that many people don't do well in business. Because sometimes customers are wondering, will I be wasting my money if I pay for this product? So there are many businesses that your price is not the problem. No. What is the problem is that your offers are not good. Your target customers do not believe that what they are paying is relevant enough to them and can solve the problem that they are going through. You see that? And one thing that makes a good offer is that a good offer must have the right name. Why? Because confusion kills sales. Confusion kills understanding. And a product that somebody cannot understand, they cannot pay for that particular product. And like I always tell entrepreneurs, if a customer cannot understand your product or understand the impact of your product in their life, between 10 to 60 seconds, they will hardly buy from you. So if you're talking to a customer, what you say in the first 10 to 60 seconds is important. Or it's a video on social media, or you're writing about your product within 10 to 60 seconds. If people reading or consuming your value or what you're communicating, if they cannot understand the results that they will get from consuming your product, your offer creation is not good. Let me give you an example of offer creation. Many of you here said that you you are into fashion, right? Now, let's say I like to wear senator wears, right? And let's say you make senator wears in your fashion store. For those who run fashion stores here or fashion designing shops, If you make senator words, type yes in the chat box. If you make senator wears, type yes in the chat box. Now, you see, senator dresses or senator wears, those are your products, right? But how can you create an offer from that product? So your offer now are the results that I will get when I wear your senator wears. So you don't just talk about, please buy my senator wears. You can design some particular senator wears and you're targeting just some particular class of people. You can make up your mind that you want to target just business owners, executives, people that work in embassies. If you live in Yaoundé or a place like that, you're targeting the executives, leaders, founders, people that go to big meetings, right? And they don't want to wear on the suits. They want to wear something that is different. Now, an offer creation is don't tell me that I should buy your senator wears. That is your product. I am not interested in your product. I am interested in the result your product can create for me. So tell me that, oh, you know what? I can help you look classic, stylish, and like a true executive beyond just wearing a suit. We have a new model of this dress that can enable you to look classic, is simple yet professional, executive, easy to wear, and enables you to be flexible when you're speaking in a meeting or when you are even, having a long session or throughout the day. Throughout the day, this is a perfect dress for you to wear as an executive. You see, I am trying to think on the spot here to create the result that you can communicate, and you can even communicate this without using the word senator wear. And before you end, I will be interested to find out what is the name of this product. Can you show me the picture of this product? Can you show me a sample? You see that? So it is very, very important. Avoid talking about your products. Offer creation focus on what are the top 3 benefits? What are the top 5 benefits that I will get if I buy your product? So all the entrepreneurs here, start thinking about it. If I ask you that one product that you're selling, or those 5 products you're selling, what are the top 5 products that you are selling? Top 5 benefits, that your products actually can bring into the life of the customers. All right. Number 3, lead generation and omni-value communication. Lead generation and omni-value communication. Now, you see, this is one of the most important things to get right in business. I always say that if you run a business and people don't frequently ask you how much, tell me more about your product, you will struggle to make money. A good business should constantly have leads. People should constantly ask you for more information about what you're selling. They should constantly inquire, either pricing, inquire more explanation about your business, inquire where to find you. See, to know that your business is dying, check. The first place to know that your business is not doing well and is dying is the number of lead generation that comes to your business every week or every month. All right? So you need to constantly do that. All of these apply to every business, whether service or hard products, right? So lead generation, omni-channel value communication. So you need to make sure that you establish a strong system in your business where people are constantly discovering your business. If new eyes are not discovering your business constantly, you will struggle to run a profitable business that can become a strong enterprise. So let me ask you a question. How many people constantly ask questions about your business? You see, We are not yet talking about those who are paying. No, just those who are inquiring. Because you cannot get paying customers without leads generation. Somebody must take interest before you can convert that person into a paying customer. And the number of lead generation that come into your business is also proof that you have a good business. You see that? Because look at for every business owner, right? If nobody can see your offer, it doesn't matter how good it is. If nobody can see what you're selling, it doesn't matter how good it is. Because no leads, no business. No discoveries, no business. So you need to create a system where on a daily basis, people are constantly discovering what you're offering as a business owner. And omni-channel strategies or omni-channel communication, I am talking about create multiple ways that you communicate about your business. For some of you, it could be social media where you do organic posts and you do paid ads. For some of you, it could be social media paid ads and then radio ads, right? You just find multiple channels to communicate your value and generate leads. Because the goal here is how can I get strangers, new people to keep discovering about me? And we are in a generation that I call the attention generation. If you don't know how to generate attention around your business, you will struggle to sell. You will struggle to become an enterprise in what you're building. Because without people seeing your products, seeing your offers, you have no one to sell to them. We're in a generation where proper visibility creates sales in what you're doing. All right, I'm going to run. Number 4, by now should have been rounding up so that I can take questions. So I'm going to reduce time for questions so that I can cover all the 9 steps. Number 4, sales systems. Sales systems and customer conversion. Now, look, if you don't have step 3, you will not have step 4. Because sales system is what do you do to cause people to give you money? Let me ask a question. Who here has ever gone to a restaurant and you ended up not eating either because they welcomed you rudely or because the place was dirty or because the food delayed? Type me in the chat box. Or if you have ever entered any other shop, you intended to buy. You really went, you had your money to buy, but you ended up not buying because of one thing or another. Type me in the chat box. Type me in the chat box. If you have ever experienced that, type me in the chat box. Nobody has experienced that. I've experienced that a few times, right? So now what happens? What happens is they did not have a good sales system or customer conversion system to make you to buy. You see, and it's the same for all of us in business. You can do good marketing that generates leads, but if the leads come to you, if they come to you and you don't have a proper system, a proper sales system and conversion system, you will not make money in that business. I always say that, look, marketing will cause people to discover you. A good sales and customer system will cause people to pay you. Somebody can enter your business premises and not remove their wallets to pay you because of bad sales systems, because of bad customer systems. You see? So to avoid that, you need to establish good sales conversion system. I have done this on many businesses where I sit down with them and we establish a step-by-step process on what happened. Even on WhatsApp, I have one of my clients and I asked him, when a customer sends you an inquiry message on WhatsApp, what is the first message you send to them? He didn't have. He said, that's wrong. You are supposed to have at least 4 messages typed and kept. When somebody does an inquiry, when somebody enters your WhatsApp DM and asks you a question, please, how much is your product? Have a ready sales script where you can just copy, edit a few things, and send to them. And you have a second message that is ready when you have already anticipated what they will say. You just copy, edit based on what they're saying, and send to them. You are not guessing what to say. No, you have a good language documented in a sales script that you can communicate to the people. For those of you that have physical businesses, on-site shop, what is the first thing that you say to a customer when they enter your shop? What is the first reaction? Is it a smile? What are the first words? Yes, yes. Let's say if you have called MTN and Orange, if you notice, if you call 10 different agents in a day, they will say almost the exact same words the first few seconds that they pick your call. Is that true? They are trained to do that. That is their sales system. That is their customer conversion system. And you should have that in your business. It could be WhatsApp conversion system, Facebook, LinkedIn, email, on-site, it doesn't matter. But have a system that can do that. It is very important. Because if you don't have that system, you will struggle to position your product as a bridge as far as their problem is concerned and the desired results that they want to get. All right. Number 5, product delivery and fulfillment. Product delivery and fulfillment. Now, you see, this is very important because you cannot call yourself a business if you are not efficient and proficient in product delivery and fulfillment. We have so many designers there. I have been disappointed by designers many times, right? I like to, when I'm speaking on site, I don't like to, that's just my speaking, policy and training policy. I don't like to repeat a dress, right? Either a new suit or a new senator wear and all of that. But there are many designers that I have been so embarrassed and defeated, not defeated, discouraged by them because they are not good at delivery, but very good designers. But they are so bad with keeping their word. That is lack of step 5. They are not proficient in product delivery and fulfillment. See, you don't have a business if step 5 is missing. It's like a service, right? If I'm paid to come and speak, if I'm paid to come and train, if I'm paid to come and consult, I need to do my homework so that I deliver excellent value. Because if I run a business in that light, it is my responsibility as an enterprise in training and consulting and research to deliver and fulfill that which I was paid to do. Every business must be able to do that. So if you don't have this, if you struggle, many of you that if we start talking to you right now, majority of the complaints you are getting is because you are not good with product delivery and fulfillment. Either you deliver below the standard product or you deliver late, or there is always one excuse or another. Your business will struggle to stand the test of time. You will struggle to run a profitable business. Your job is not finished as a business owner after the sales. No. Your job actually starts when the customer pays for you. Yes. Let me say it again. Your job doesn't finish when a customer pays you. No, your real job starts when a customer pays you. Many business owners don't have this mindset. Your real job starts when you have received first installment or they have paid you in full. That is when your real job starts. And your real job is to ensure that you practice step 5. product or service delivery and fulfillment with minimal excuses or failures. Number 6, operating systems and automation. Operating systems and automation. You see, we're in a generation where it is important to know how to establish the right systems and automation in your business. I always say that as a business owner, your goal is to work on the business and not in the business, right? At the beginning stage of your business, you work in the business. But when the business begins to grow, you work on the business. And what makes you to work on the business is that you have established the right operating systems and automation in the business. All right. So, for example, let me give a basic example. In one of my businesses in Cameroon, the manager knows that any expense is a financial policy, right? Any expense between 1 franc and 100,000 francs, she has the right to make the decision to spend 100,000 francs without consulting me, right? That means any expense between 1 franc and 100,000 francs, she has the right to make the decision to incur any expense for the business sake without calling me, without emailing, without doing anything to me. I only see that when I'm looking through the reports. That's an example of an operating system, right? And automation talks about either apps or softwares, or let's say even just Microsoft Excel that you can use to begin to automate your sales calculation. If you are in business in 2025 and beyond, and you don't have certain apps or softwares that you're using in your business to ensure efficient administration, you are going to struggle to become a growing enterprise. That means you will keep working in the business instead of working on the business as a business leader. All right. It's very, very important. So you need to go and do some research based on the business I am doing. What are the basic softwares or apps, online platforms that I can use to automate some things in my business so I can have more time to focus on innovation, to focus on creative ideas, to focus on expansion, and what have you. All right. Number 9, build a relevant core team. Build a relevant core team. I always tell business owners, when you start, for those of you that indicated that you're under the founders category, you're a one-man business right now. I always tell people like that. The moment your business start making some profit, the first thing to do is never to improve the quality of your life. That you're a bad business person. When your business start making some money that makes sense, the first thing to do is recruitment. Because your business will never grow beyond the mental faculty of the team members. And at the moment, you are the only team member. And I'm using the word relevant intentionally. I have seen many people recruit irrelevant people, right? So sometimes, depending on the type of business, I always encourage people, when your business starts making some money, the first person to get in your business is somebody who is good with advertisement and marketing, so that you can guarantee leads and sales. And then when you get that person, the second person to get is somebody who can help you create more value. Maybe let's say for those who run fashion stores, you can now get another tailor who can sit on another tailoring machine and produce more dresses, because the marketing guy or the business development guy is generating more customers for the business, right? So you don't just go recruiting anyhow. No, you look based on the type of my business, based on my skill set, based on where I am lacking. Who do I need to hire when I start making extra money in this business? All right. It is important. Number 8, brand building and positioning. Brand building and positioning. You cannot go find business if you don't have the right brand. All right. Invest a lot in brand building and positioning. Invest a lot in brand building and positioning. What is the brand that your business commands? Right? Develop a premium brand for your business. And in this generation, you cannot talk about branding if you are not creating content around your business. The secret of branding in this generation is content creation around your business. The secret to positioning in this generation, in this perception economy, is branding through content creation. Lastly, number 9 is capital access and financial leverage. You see, I always say that when you are starting a business, you don't need external capital to start a business. I don't trust people who borrow money from anybody or institution to start a business. People like that always end up failing. If you don't know how to save, or you don't have somebody who can give you money as a gift for capital to start, if you don't know how to save, or you don't know how to use the small money that you have to start a business small, that kind of person will struggle to run a big business. But show me somebody who knows how to use what they have, no matter how small, to start, no matter how small, and they start and they stay consistent and begin to plow back the profit or do bootstrapping. People like that always have a high chance of succeeding, right? It's experience and we have data for that. More than 90% of anybody who has ever borrowed money to start a business, they always fail. And when they fail, then I have double depression, right? Depression from failing and depression on how to pay back the money they borrowed. So you don't need external money to start a business. You need external money to scale the business. You need external money to get into enterprise. So you can start borrowing and getting loans or getting investments when you have started already. You have done market validation. You have done a good number of sales. All right. Then you can access capital, leverage some other people's money, and begin to expand, because there is a level of building a business that your money can never fund. You will always need external capital. Either you take a loan, you take debt, you get equity co-founders, make them co-founders, give them part of the share, and so on. There are modalities and agreements that can enable you to do that efficiently. All right. So if you are able to practice this, if you are able to execute this, these 9 steps, not just with a short-term mentality, but with a long-term mentality, you will be able to build a very good and profitable business as far as being an entrepreneur is concerned. All right. I was a bit fast so that I can cover and catch up with time, because I don't have more time to stay with us. It was supposed to be a 1 hour session, right? So I'm going to share some free resources in the chat box. Okay. So you can see the chat box. I have a free academy that has some of my business courses in that academy. All right. It's called Value and Income Acceleration Academy. You click it, it's free. You just put your email and your name, and the system will send you the courses and you can start following. You will get in detail some things I have taught here. All right. They will help you a lot. You will also see, if you're here and you want to know how you have some skills, want to know how you can monetize your skills, the skills to value to income startup pack will help you on how to start making money from your skills and all of that, right? I run a business academy. This one is paid, I think 50,000 francs for 3 months on some of these things that I teach here in detail. This academy has about 30 something courses. If you want to get a full master MBA standard teaching on business in just 3 months, practical tailored to you, then you can join the Business Academy. We have been training people every year in the last 5 years or so. All right. And it can help you a lot. All right, people. But even if you want to pay the academy and join the paid academy, the paid business academy, join the Value Ascension Academy. Is free. It has about 10 courses there for you. And if you finish those courses, trust me, it will scale your ability to run your business and increase your profit. And I think in that Value Academy, there is a course there on how to make your first 1 million and how to make your first 10 million. All right. It's practical. And we have done it over and over for many businesses, and it works for anybody. All right. The link is in the chat box. Just check. Let me just reshare again for you. All right. Just copy all these processes and keep somewhere and then check it out. And that will help you. All right. I have I have, I need to leave here in less than 3 minutes for another session. So I have the time for one question only. One question. Who has a question for me? If you have a question for me, comment in the chat box. Or you can indicate if you have a question for me. Please reshare the question. So many texts, I cannot be able to go back to see it. Just copy and paste back. Can you search and copy and paste back? Any other question? Mr. Banda, I'm done. You want to coordinate the one question session? Let me know. All right. As founders, the challenge is getting real-time data. Most times, you are limited to your first cycle friends and family. How can a founder get responses? Boldly go to strangers. And this is a problem. Many founders are too comfortable with their friends and family members, right? They don't go beyond those people. Okay. Yes, the response rate will be low. And what most people do is that you can reach out to people that lead communities, right? And you can plead with them and say, please, I am doing a research on this. Can you share this in your WhatsApp group so that the people can be able to feel? You need to keep on pushing this because the most deceiving data you can ever work with is any data that comes from family and friends. Very deceptive because they will say nice things to make you feel good. They don't want to hurt you. Okay. So, my recommendation to you is you have to keep on pushing. And the secret I have learned that works is that try to partner with people that lead or run WhatsApp group communities, Facebook group communities, and so on. And if you ask them nicely, humbly, plead with them, many of them always accept to share your questionnaire and, of course, have them to fill. And secondly, I have also noticed that many people don't know how to create questionnaires. They create very long questionnaires, right? Sometimes you can create a very short questionnaire, and based on how people sound and what they say, you can assume other things based on that data. You will likely be accurate, all right? So if your questionnaire requires 5 minutes and above, many people are going to ignore, right? But if it's something that people can feel within 2 to 3 minutes, they always likely get to answer it if it is short, all right? And then your message always indicates that, hey, please, just 2 minutes of your time can help a business owner succeed, all right? So be that communicative and genuinely ask for help, and many people are going to help you. All right, people, that is it for today. And okay, I see that message. Thank you so much for letting me know. That is it for today. God bless you all. And I believe that you learned something, you are blessed, you are impacted, and your business will definitely be impactful. Thank you so much, Faith, for letting me know that You learned a lot in such a short time. All right. I'm waiting to see the impact in your business and what you're building. God bless you all. Keep building. Cheers.